Let me ask you something before we start. When was the last time you filled up your gas tank and didn't wince at the number on the pump? Think about that for a second. 6 months ago, you were paying $47 to fill up your SUV. Today that same tank costs you over $72. And if you drive a truck, a Ford F-150, a Ram 1500, a Chevy Silverado, you just paid $162 to fill up. That's $55 more. Every single time. Every single fill up. Now here's the question nobody in Washington wants you to ask. Who decided this was okay? Who decided that you would pay $55 more every time you fill your tank? Who decided that your grocery bill would spike? Who decided that your airline ticket to visit family this summer would cost hundreds more? You didn't vote on it. Congress didn't vote on it. The American people were never asked. On February 26, 2026, President Trump ordered military strikes on Iran, and from that single decision made in the White House without a congressional declaration of war, your entire cost of living changed overnight. Today on Crisis Wealth, we are going to follow the money, not the politics. Not the ideology. Not the left versus right noise, just the money. Your money. Where it went. Why it went there. And whether it is ever coming back. This is not a foreign policy story, this is your story. About your wallet, about your family's finances, and it's time somebody told it straight. Most Americans, when they hear war with Iran, think okay, Middle East, far away, not my problem. That is exactly what Washington is counting on you to think. Because the moment you understand the connection between a missile strike in Tehran and the price on the pump in your town, everything changes. So let's build that connection step by step. Because it is not complicated, it just requires someone to explain it honestly. The Strait of Hormuz is a narrow stretch of water between Iran and Oman. It is roughly 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. And through those 21 miles flows approximately 20% of all the oil traded in the entire world every single day. 20%. 1/5 of the world's oil supply. Through a channel you could drive across in under 30 minutes. The moment the US launched strikes on Iran, oil traders around the world looked at that map and did one calculation. If Iran retaliates by closing or threatening that strait, global oil supply drops by 20% overnight. They didn't wait to see if Iran would actually do it. In financial markets, you don't wait for the fire. You sell the moment you smell smoke. Oil prices spiked within hours of the first strike. Step 2: from oil prices to your gas pump. Here is something most people don't understand about gas prices. The price you pay at the pump is not set by your local gas station owner. It is not set by your state. It is set by global oil markets in real time, and your station adjusts to reflect those markets, usually within 48 to 72 hours. So when oil jumped after the Iran strikes, your pump price followed automatically. No conspiracy. No price gouging. Just the mechanical reality of how global commodity markets work. Step 3: from gas prices to everything else. This is where most people stop their thinking at the gas pump. But gas prices are not just about driving. They are the hidden cost inside every single product you buy. Every tomato at your grocery store was driven there in a truck that burns diesel. Every Amazon package that arrives at your door was flown or driven by vehicles burning fuel. Every airline ticket you buy includes jet fuel as one of the largest operating costs for the airline. From February 27th to May 18th of this year, the average cost to fill a typical 16-gallon tank of a small to mid-size SUV increased by about $24.56, rising from $47.68 to $72.24, an increase of 51.5%. And for a larger vehicle like the Ford F-150 with its 36-gallon tank, the cost jumped by about $55.26. From $107.28 to $162.54, also an increase of 51.5%. FDD, let that number sink in. 51.5%, in less than 3 months, because of a war you never voted for. Now let's talk about the war itself, because to understand why you're paying $55 more to fill your tank, you need to understand why this war started, what it was supposed to achieve, and what it has actually achieved. The roots of this conflict go back to June 2025. The US and Israel conducted coordinated strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. The stated goal was to destroy Iran's ability to develop a nuclear weapon. The Trump administration declared the strikes a success, saying Iran's nuclear program had been obliterated. U.S. intelligence assessed that the strikes had buried much Iran's highly enriched uranium stockpile at Isfahan, but didn't destroy it despite administration statements that Iran's nuclear program was obliterated. Substack buried. Not destroyed, the uranium was still there, the knowledge to enrich it was still there, the scientists who knew how to use it still there. The highly enriched uranium that Iran currently is determined to have could reach weapons-grade purity within weeks or even days according to some nuclear experts if Iran has an operational enrichment facility. Substack weeks. Or days. Not years. Not decades, weeks or days. And to make the situation more alarming, Iran shut out international nuclear inspectors the following month after the strikes. Substack. So now the world has no eyes inside Iran's nuclear program. We don't know exactly what they're doing. We don't know exactly how close they are. We know only what our satellites and intelligence can piece together from the outside. That is the context in which Trump ordered the February 2026 strikes. Not a clean victory. Not an obliterated program. A damaged, hidden, inspector-free nuclear operation in a country that was angrier than ever, and when those February strikes hit, Iran responded exactly as any nation would respond when it believes it is fighting for survival. It threatened the Strait of Hormuz, it activated proxy forces across the region, it signaled to every oil tanker captain in the Persian Gulf that their ship might not make it through. The result was not a quick resolution. The result was exactly what energy economists had warned about for decades. A sustained military conflict in the world's most oil-sensitive geography. And the bill for that conflict, as always, was handed to the American consumer. Let's talk numbers now. Your numbers. What this war is actually costing the average American family. Showing total annual cost. Trump's tariffs separate from but compounding the Iran war's impact amount to an average tax increase per U.S. household of $1,500 in 2026. CBS News. That's $1,500 from tariffs alone. Before we even talk about gas, now add the gas price increase. The average American drives approximately 15,000 miles per year. At average fuel efficiency, that means roughly 50 fill-ups per year for a midsize SUV. At $24.56 more per fill-up, that is $1,228 more per year just in gas. Now add groceries. Fresh produce prices have surged because everything from picking to packing to transporting runs on fuel. Conservative estimates put the average family grocery bill increase at $800 to $1,200 per year. Add airline tickets. Jet fuel is 20 to 25% of an airline's operating cost. If you're flying anywhere this summer, you are paying significantly more than you would have paid before February 26th. Here's what Crisis Wealth wants you to take away from everything you just watched. This is not about being for or against any political party. It is not about being pro-war or anti-war. It is about one thing and one thing only: your money. A decision was made in Washington in February of this year. A decision that was never put to a vote. A decision that was never debated publicly before it happened. And the cost of that decision is being paid right now at every gas station, every grocery checkout line, every airline booking page by tens of millions of ordinary Americans who had no say in it. From travel to cookouts, costs are rising due to the Trump administration's wide-ranging tariffs and its war of choice with Iran. A war of choice, that phrase matters. Not a war forced on America by an attack, not a war authorized by Congress as the Constitution requires. A choice made by one person, paid for by all of us. Understanding that, truly understanding the chain from Washington's decisions to your wallet, is the difference between being informed and being manipulated. That is why Crisis Wealth exists, not to tell you who to vote for, not to tell you who to be angry at, but to make sure that when they make decisions that cost you thousands of dollars a year, you understand exactly what happened, exactly why, and exactly who made the call, because an informed American is a powerful American. If this video gave you something real, share it with someone who is struggling with prices right now and doesn't understand why. They deserve to know. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Facebook. The next breakdown drops in 48 hours, and what we're covering next connects directly to everything you just learned today. Don't miss it.